The meadow at Willow Creek shimmered under the autumn sun, its grasses swaying like a sea of gold. Jenny, 12, her chestnut curls wild in the breeze, sprinted across the field, her laughter a bright thread in the air. Sarah, 8, followed with her pigtails bouncing, clutching the string of a red kite with a long blue tail. The kite soared, a diamond of fire against the endless sky, tugging against the wind as if alive. "Faster, Sarah," Jenny called, spinning around with a grin that could outshine the sun. "Don't let it crash." Sarah giggled, her small hands fumbling with the string. "It's too wiggly, Jenny. It's gonna fly away." The sisters were bound by a love deeper than words. Jenny, bold and fearless, was Sarah's protector, always ready to bandage a scraped knee or chase away a nightmare. Sarah, the dreamer, saw magic in every leaf and cloud, and Jenny was her guide, her hero. Their days were a tapestry of adventures, building forts from fallen branches, catching fireflies until the stars appeared, and whispering secrets in their treehouse under the old oak by the creek. That afternoon, the meadow sang with their joy. The kite swooped and swirled, mirroring their boundless energy. Sarah, caught in the thrill, tripped on a gnarled root and tumbled into the grass with a squeal. Jenny was at her side in an instant, brushing dirt from Sarah's overalls. "You okay, little star?" Jenny asked, her hazel eyes soft with concern. Sarah nodded, her cheeks flushed. "I want the kite to do loops, Jenny, like a dragon flying." Jenny laughed, ruffling Sarah's hair. "A dragon, huh? Let's make it roar." They ran together, the string taut between them, their laughter weaving through the air. The kite danced, a red speck in the vast blue. And for a moment, the world was perfect, a snapshot of childhood, untouched by time or sorrow. But perfection is fleeting. Sarah, lost in the moment, didn't notice the gravel path sloping toward the creek. Her sneakers skidded, and she stumbled, the kite string slipping from her grasp. The creek's edge was steep, its waters swollen from days of rain, churning with a restless hunger. Sarah teetered, her arms flailing as the ground gave way beneath her. "Sarah." Jenny's voice cracked with panic. She lunged, grabbing Sarah's wrist just as her sister's feet slid toward the drop. With a fierce pull, Jenny yanked Sarah back, tumbling onto the grass beside her. Sarah's heart pounded, her breath ragged. "Jenny, Sarah started, her voice trembling. Jenny was already up, her eyes fixed on the kite, now tangled in a tree branch overhanging the creek. The branch creaked, swaying precariously over the rushing water. "Stay here," Jenny said, her voice firm but trembling. "I'll get it." "Jenny, no." Sarah clutched her sister's sleeve, her eyes wide with fear. "It's just a kite." Jenny smiled, a soft, determined curve of her lips. "It's our kite, Sarah. The one we painted together. I'll be quick." Before Sarah could protest, Jenny sprinted to the tree. She climbed with the ease of someone who'd scaled every oak in Willow Creek, her movements sure despite the wind's warning whispers. The branch groaned as she reached for the kite, her fingers brushing the red fabric. "Got it," Jenny called, her voice bright with triumph. Then a sickening crack split the air. The branch snapped, and Sarah's scream pierced the meadow as Jenny plummeted, the kite fluttering uselessly in her hand. The creek swallowed her, its current pulling her under in a heartbeat. "Jenny!" Sarah scrambled to the edge, her voice raw, her hands clawing at the dirt. She saw a flash of chestnut curls, then nothing. The water churned, cold and merciless, carrying her sister away. By the time their parents and the town's search party arrived, it was too late. Jenny was gone, her light snuffed out by the creek's cruel embrace. Sarah sat on the bank, clutching the kite. Its red faded by the water's touch, her world shattered. The years that followed were a grayscale haze for Sarah. The meadow, once their kingdom, became a place of ghosts, its wildflowers mocking her with their beauty. The kite, recovered downstream, sat in her closet, its blue tail a painful relic of that day. Sarah grew, 10, 12, 16. But the weight of Jenny's absence pressed on her like a stone. If I hadn't tripped, if I hadn't let go, if I'd stopped her. Sarah threw herself into school, her grades impeccable, her drawings intricate and haunting. She sketched meadows and kites, but never faces, never Jenny's. Her parents, kind but broken by their own grief, tried to reach her. Jenny would want you to be happy, her mother said one evening, brushing Sarah's hair with gentle hands. But Sarah couldn't believe it. She was the reason Jenny was gone. Happiness felt like a betrayal. Memories of Jenny haunted her, vivid and sharp. There was the summer they'd built a raft from old planks, pretending to be pirates on the creek's calmer stretches. Jenny had tied a bandana around Sarah's head, declaring her first mate star. They'd laughed until their sides ached, the raft sinking under their weight, leaving them splashing and giggling in the shallow water. We'll sail to the moon next time, Jenny had promised, her eyes bright with dreams. Another memory. The winter Jenny taught Sarah to ice skate on the frozen pond. Sarah had wobbled, clinging to Jenny's hands, her sister's encouragement a warm beacon in the cold. You've got this, little star, Jenny had said, catching her every time she fell. They'd stayed until their noses were red, their breath puffing in clouds, Jenny's laughter warming the night. There was the night they'd lain in the treehouse, counting stars through the gaps in the roof. Jenny had pointed out constellations, making up stories about warriors and dragons. That's us up there, she'd said, tracing a line between two stars. You and me forever. Sarah had believed her, her heart full of her sister's light. Now, at 16, Sarah was a shadow of that girl. She avoided the meadow, the creek, anything that whispered of Jenny. Yet Jenny was everywhere, in the rustle of leaves, the scent of rain, the laughter of other children. Sarah's guilt was a chain, binding her to that autumn day. She wondered if she'd ever break free. She tried to fill the void. She joined the school choir, her voice soft but clear, singing songs Jenny had loved. She volunteered at the library, reading to younger kids, their wide eyes reminding her of her own childhood wonder. But each step forward felt like a step away from Jenny, and the guilt tightened its grip. One spring, Sarah's art teacher noticed her sketches, the meadows and kites that filled her notebook. You have a gift, Miss Carter said, her voice kind. Share it. Sarah hesitated, but Miss Carter's encouragement nudged her toward the art club. There, she found solace in charcoal and canvas, her drawings a quiet conversation with Jenny. But even art couldn't erase the ache. One evening, after a long day of school and a quiet dinner where her parents' smiles couldn't hide their worry, Sarah collapsed into bed, exhausted. Her dreams were usually gray, fragmented things, but tonight, the world shifted. She stood in the meadow, the sun warm on her face, the grass vibrant under her feet. She was 8 again, her pigtails bouncing, her heart light. Sarah, a voice called, bright and familiar. Sarah turned, her breath catching. There stood Jenny, 12 and radiant, her chestnut curls wild in the breeze. She held their red kite, its blue tail fluttering like a flag of joy. Her smile was the same one that had lit up Sarah's world, untouched by time or tragedy. "Jenny." Sarah's voice broke. She ran, tears streaming, and threw her arms around her sister. She expected to pass through a memory, but Jenny was solid, warm, her laugh vibrating against Sarah's cheek. "Hey, little star," Jenny said, hugging her tightly. "Missed you." Sarah sobbed, clinging to her. "I'm so sorry, Jenny. It's my fault. If I hadn't tripped, if I'd held on." "Shoo." Jenny pulled back, her hazel eyes gentle but firm. "None of that. Come on, let's fly the kite." Confused but unwilling to let go, Sarah followed. They ran through the meadow, the kite soaring above, its red vibrant against the sky. Their laughter blended, a harmony of childhood reborn. Sarah felt light, as if the years of guilt had dissolved in the warmth of Jenny's presence. They collapsed in the grass, breathless and giggling, the kite dancing high above. Sarah turned to Jenny, her voice small. "Why aren't you mad at me?" Jenny plucked a blade of grass, twirling it between her fingers. "Because there's nothing to be mad about, Sarah. It was an accident. I'd do it again in a heartbeat to keep you safe." "But I let go," Sarah whispered, her eyes fixed on the kite. "I wasn't strong enough." "You were 8, Jenny said softly. "You were perfect just as you were. I made a choice, Sarah, because I love you. That's what sisters do." "But I let go," Sarah whispered, her eyes fixed on the kite. "I wasn't strong enough." "You were 8, Jenny said softly. "You were perfect just as you were. I made a choice, Sarah, because I love you. That's what sisters do." Sarah's tears fell, soaking the grass. "I miss you so much. I don't know how to live without you." Jenny took her hand, her grip warm and steady. "You're already living, little star. Every song you sing, every picture you draw, you're carrying me with you. But you've got to let go of the hurt. It's not yours to carry." Sarah's tears fell, soaking the grass. "I miss you so much. I don't know how to live without you." Jenny took her hand, her grip warm and steady. "You're already living, little star. Every song you sing, every picture you draw, you're carrying me with you. But you've got to let go of the hurt. It's not yours to carry." "How?" Sarah asked, her voice barely audible. "How do I do that?" Jenny's eyes sparkled with a wisdom beyond her 12 years. "By living fully. Draw those dragons you love, the ones in your notebook. Sing loud, even when your voice shakes. Chase the dreams we made together, climbing mountains, sailing oceans. Do it all, Sarah, and do it for both of us." Sarah looked at the kite, its tail weaving patterns in the wind. "We were going to see the world," she said. "You wanted to find the tallest mountain." "And you still can," Jenny said. "Every adventure you take, I'll be there, cheering you on. Promise me you'll try." Sarah nodded, her throat tight. "I promise." They sat in silence, watching the kite soar. Jenny pointed to the sky. "See that cloud? Looks like a dragon, doesn't it?" Sarah laughed through her tears. "Just like our kite." "Exactly," Jenny said. "Keep looking for dragons, Sarah. They're everywhere if you know where to look." The meadow began to fade, the colors softening like a watercolor painting. Sarah panicked, gripping Jenny's hand. "Don't go." Jenny smiled, her eyes bright with love. "I'm always with you, Sarah. Right here." She touched Sarah's chest over her heart. "Now wake up, little star. It's time to shine." The next morning, Sarah opened her closet and pulled out the kite. Its red was faded, its tail frayed, but it was still theirs. She drove to the meadow, her hands trembling as she stepped onto the grass. The creek murmured softly, no longer a monster but a memory of love. She ran, the kite string taut in her hands, and watched the red diamond climb, wobbling at first, then soaring high. She laughed, a sound rusty but real, and felt Jenny's presence in the wind, the sun, the sky. From that day, Sarah began to live again. She poured herself into her art, her sketches now filled with kites, meadows, and sometimes Jenny's smile. She joined the art club, her talent blossoming under the encouragement of her peers. She sang in the choir, her voice growing stronger, each note a tribute to Jenny's love of music. Sarah woke with a gasp, her cheeks wet with tears. Her room was dark, but a strange warmth lingered, as if Jenny had truly been there. She sat up, her heart racing, and felt a flicker of something new. Hope, fragile but real. Sarah started writing letters to Jenny, not to send but to keep. She wrote about her fears, her dreams, her small victories. "I drew a dragon today," she wrote one evening. "It's got your eyes. I'm trying, Jenny, for you." The letters became her way of keeping Jenny close, a bridge between past and present. One spring, Sarah organized a kite festival in the meadow, a celebration of joy and memory. She spent weeks planning, painting posters with soaring kites and dragons, rallying the town to join. On the day of the festival, the meadow came alive with color. Kids ran across the grass, their kites painting the sky, while parents laughed and shared stories. Sarah's kite soared highest, its red a beacon of hope. Her parents joined her, their eyes misty but proud, and for the first time in years, they felt like a family again. One spring, Sarah organized a kite festival in the meadow, a celebration of joy and memory. She spent weeks planning, painting posters with soaring kites and dragons, rallying the town to join. On the day of the festival, the meadow came alive with color. Kids ran across the grass, their kites painting the sky, while parents laughed and shared stories. Sarah's kite soared highest, its red a beacon of hope. Her parents joined her, their eyes misty but proud, and for the first time in years, they felt like a family again. Sarah's healing wasn't linear. Some days, the guilt crept back, whispering in the quiet moments. But she learned to counter it with action, drawing, singing, connecting. She volunteered at the community center, teaching kids to paint, their laughter a reminder of the joy she'd shared with Jenny. She hiked a nearby hill, her first step toward the mountains Jenny had dreamed of, whispering, "This one's for you." As Sarah grew, she carried Jenny's light in every step. Her sketches became murals, her songs became stories, and her love became a legacy. The guilt lingered, a quiet shadow, but it no longer defined her. She learned that life was a kite, fragile, unpredictable, but capable of soaring if you dared to run with it. In the end, Sarah understood that Jenny's love had never left her, that it lived in her heart, her art, her courage. She saw dragons in the clouds, just as Jenny had taught her, and knew her sister was watching, her smile brighter than the sun. Through Jenny's sacrifice, Sarah learned that love is selfless, a force that binds even across time. By forgiving herself, she found healing, and by living fully, chasing dreams, singing loud, loving hard, she honored Jenny's memory. The community she built, from art clubs to kite festivals, showed her that no one heals alone, and the memories of those we love endure. guiding us like stars in the daylight, forever present if we know where to look.